Good afternoon and thank you for joining us today for our 6 Steps to Massive Results webinar. We've got BC and AC, before coronavirus and after coronavirus. The world has changed. What I'm about to share with you today is going to launch you into the post-COVID world with guaranteed energy, focus and success. 6 steps to massive results, more profit, more growth. Does that have any meaning in a post-COVID world? The answer is absolutely, more now than ever before. Hopefully the outcomes of this webinar are learning something, fun, be coached and take action to move your business and life forward. If you're not growing, you're dying. My name is Catherine Manning and I would like your permission to be the coach for the duration of the presentation. Do take notes, do participate 100%, do capture some strategies and ideas to grow your business straight away. Key to success, 100% participation. So what you're looking at here is a formula for change. Dissatisfaction times vision plus first steps, so know what steps to take, have to be greater than our resistance to change. Now, at the moment, following recent events, dissatisfaction is quite high for many business owners, but that's not enough. You also need a vision, a goal, or an idea to aim for. You need to have some plan. If you have this, you can work back from it to identify what are your first steps, but your resistance to change has to be lower than the sum of the other 3, or you will not be compelled to change. You'd like to put some numbers on a sheet for yourself. D, V, and F are out of 10. So that's D times V plus F. They're all out of 10. So you 7 out of 10, 5 out of 10, whatever your dissatisfaction level, if it's 10 out of 10. And R is a percentage out of 100. So see if you are ready. Definition of a real business: a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. Now to introduce you to the 6-step structured way to grow your business. Building from strong foundations, eliminating the potential for cracks appearing as you grow more quickly. We start with mastery. Chaos to control. Most business owners will admit that their business is in chaos. They're not in control. They're in there every day trying to catch up, trying to put out fires. Mastery level covers the 4 fundamental areas for any business that need to be mastered to gain control. First is money mastery. Here's an interesting question. On average, what percentage of business owners get a profit and loss statement at the end of each month and know how to make decisions about the next month? I can tell you it's roughly about 7%. Here's an even more vital number. At what time of their day their business breaks even. So as a business owner, if after 4 o'clock is when you'd start to make any money, up until then, you've been paying your expenses and wages. Once we know this, we know how much money has to come into the business before we start making a profit. And the ultimate aim with business owners is to get the point of maximum utilisation. In other words, utilising the assets of the business to the maximum profitability possible. To give you an example, think of the last time you got your hair cut. I know finally mine was last week. However, were all of the seats in the salon being used or not? If not, they're not running at maximum utilisation. They need to change the way they're running their business. So what do you need to know to work this out? You need to know your numbers. We work with business owners so they understand their numbers. So it's not what you've done, but what you need to know to predict your profits for the next month. Money mastery is about taking care of several things. To find profit, we look at the cash gap in the business. So this is the period between when you buy stock or pay wages until your customers pay you. This is why most businesses struggle, because they have to trade in overdraft whilst they have money owing to them from other companies. We look at strategies to improve the bottom line of your business, examining the margin and profitability of your company. So money mastery is knowing the numbers and improving those bottom line numbers. Do you think it's more important to improve the profit or the revenue of the company? Have a little think. Got an answer in the chat box. Doubling your turnover if you're already trading at a loss is not going to help. So it's critical that you know your numbers to grow effectively, and having someone look from the outside in will likely spot these things which you may not. Destination is visioning. You need to get clarity on what your business looks like when it's finished. You may have heard the phrase, start with the end in mind. So put some numbers on it. How long will it take? How much turnover and profit will you be making? How many people will you employ? How much money will you be earning? Or even how much do you want to sell your business for? Build a business plan, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. Where do you want to be at that stage? Work back from the farthest to set goals along the way. By the way, having a business plan isn't the important part. Building it is. You learn so much from building the plan. Be open to dramatic modifications to the current organisation methodology, teaching techniques, facilities. Don't limit yourself. So we'll move on to time area of mastery. First was money mastery. We compete at first and foremost. And why is that? Because we want to make sure you're running at a profit. Time mastery. What is time mastery? Well, it's all about productivity. First, money mastery is about profitability. Time mastery is about productivity of you, the people you employ. Most business owners spend the majority of their week in these two areas, distraction and delusion. So they spend their life in what seems urgent and important. So how many of you have spent the day rushing around and got to the end of the day and realised you've achieved absolutely nothing? That's what happens when you're in distraction and delusion. My aim is to get you to a point when you're operating demand. So you're doing the things which will make a difference and ultimately in the zone where you're planning growing the business. So this is about making long-term money. So most businesses, when I start working with them, do you think we start the long-term strategy straight away? No. And why not? Because they've got short-term needs. Then we work on delivery mastery. So how many of you have been into a nice restaurant because you saw a good ad or they sent you a nice flyer or it looked good from outside, but the food was awful? There's no point doing great marketing if your product or service is delivered badly. Will your customer tell you the truth about your product or service? No. About 2 in 10, 20% will actually tell you that they're unhappy. Now, I don't know how exact that number is, but it's pretty close statistics. But I know from my own experience, and I'm sure you're similar, that when I get bad service, I don't always complain. What do? I just don't go back. I speak to businesses all the time who always state that their customer service is the best, yet they're struggling. We look deeper and there's no consistency. When they're not busy, they do all sorts of extras for the client and follow up with them. When they are busy, they don't. When they lose customers, they blame it on pricing and anything else they can think of, but never their customer service. I provide them with honest feedback or feed forward about how their service is or could be. So find someone who will give you honest feedback. Before bringing in new customers, you want to make sure you can hang on to them through delivering a consistent service. Niche. So when we jump up to niche, niche is where we go into the marketing of a business. Do you want to see my definition of a niche? No price competition. How many businesses do you think compete on price? And how come? Because they've never worked out how to do their marketing properly or how to differentiate themselves from their competitors. That one step alone, what does that do to the profitability of the business? If you didn't have to discount anymore, a lot of companies say we'll use quotes or tenders. Do you write them with price in mind or do you focus on the value that you offer? Well, the bottom line is always the price. That's what the customers ask about. So we're all fully trained customers, aren't we? So if you call up a garage, that's the one question you're sure to ask, guaranteed. What's the price? Who wants to know a magic line that would stop people from focusing on price? And how many of you would use it? Hands up. So write this down, word for word. So when the person calls, they say, what's the price of a tyre? So here's what you say. Thanks for your call. Just so I can help you best, would it be okay if I asked you a couple of questions? So then what do you think you do next? You ask questions. I work with my clients to develop a telephone script for their new and existing employees. This is one of the key things that helps them to develop a company that works whether they're there or not. So let's look at how we change your marketing process. So when we spend on sales and marketing, where does it sit? In the accounts, generally in the expenses. And that's absolutely correct. You need to look at it as an investment. So for every pound out in marketing, more should come in. The challenge is that most businesses don't do the two things which are vital if you want to have successful marketing. Test and measure. So do you need to be a marketing genius? Not if you're testing and measuring. So test out 3 to 5 marketing strategies to see which one works best. How long do you do it? Until it stops working. Some of our clients say we had an ad that worked really well once and we stopped using it. Why? We got bored of it. You might get bored of it, the clients don't. A lot of marketing for SMEs is not about being creative. Marketing is maths. If the pounds add up, it's a good piece of marketing. If they don't, it's not. Now, do you have to think they look good? No, they just need to work, bring money in. What's the worst thing to do in an ad? Put your name at the top. The only people that care about this are you and your mum. So start making your marketing an investment by starting to test and measure. Put simply, if you don't know the numbers, you can't improve them. Apologies if you heard the beeping. So how do you create your niche? Dare to be different, dare to step forward, dare to move your business forward, dare to inspire. It can help to look at the competition when looking for a USP. Check out brochures, websites, business outlets, other marketing material and sales material. Once you have done the above, ask yourself the questions. Is there anything you offer they don't? Is there a process you do better than your competitors? Or maybe you and your competitors share a process, but they have not mentioned it anywhere in their marketing, advertising or sales process. If you are the first, then you own it. Making a specific claim is one thing, but doing so and backing it up with compelling facts, studies, tests, figures, charts, and or results is a powerful 1-2 knockout punch to skepticism and will give power to your marketing, advertising and sales process. What makes you different? What are you offering or doing that your competitors are not? If you can't identify it yet, ask for feedback from your clients or customers. Why do they use you? The second tool in our armoury for not competing on price is the guarantee. The guarantee reinforces your USP. You believe so strongly in your USP that you will put your money behind it. How many of you offer a guarantee on your product or service? Put your hands up. And leave your hands up if your guarantee is different to your competitors. And leave your hands up if you are communicating that guarantee effectively to your prospective customers early in the sales process. How strong do you think it is to communicate the guarantee close to the start of the process rather than near the end, when they've already made the decision to buy, and then it's just a throwaway comment? Of course we guarantee that for 6 months. When we first started working with a client, this client ran a roofing business. He had a few competitors, and his aim was to sell a new roof for an average price of £10,000, which would make him a profit of £4,000. When we met him, he was really bothered about his competitors. He was discounting his roofs in order to win the business. Typically, he was selling at £8,000 instead, knocking 20% off his sales price, but reducing his profit by half, £4,000 to £2,000. We worked with him to understand why and discovered that he didn't have, and neither did his competitors, a clearly defined USP, and any guarantees that were made were on the quality of the work and materials, pretty much the same as all the other roofing companies. So we got him to survey his customers, to ask them what was important to them about choosing a roofing company and what concerns they had. It transpired they had 3 main concerns: waiting around for builders to turn up, they're always late and it always takes all day for them to start work, the language the builders might use in front of the children, and the mess they might make, that having the roof done might result in needing to get the garden redone or redecorated. So after we thought about this for a while, he came up with a guarantee. When you buy your roof from us, we guarantee: 1, we will always be on time, up to 10 minutes early every day. 2, you will never hear our workmen swear. 3, we will leave your property in as good a condition or better than it was when we started. And if we fail on any of these points, not only will we refund your money, but we will pay for your roof to be completed by another contractor of your choice. How do we feel about that as a guarantee from a roofing company? Would it persuade you to buy from them rather than the competition? Yes or yes? So what actually happened? Our roofer started to promote the USP and guarantee. Now he wins more contracts. His average sale value is what he wanted, £10,000. He's confident in asking for this price because he knows he offers something unique, and his customers are happy to pay extra because they know they are guaranteed to get what they want. No mess, no offensive language, and not having to hang around for the roofers to come. He's now got a bigger, more profitable business, and that's the power of the guarantee. So if you learn anything today, this is the secret to growing a successful business. This is the most powerful business secret you'll ever learn. The same chassis is used to build either a Volkswagen Golf or an Audi R8. Which would you rather have? So there is a business chassis we use, and if you've not seen this before, this is one of the most valuable formulas you'll ever learn in business. Why do we call it a chassis? Well, we use this with every company we work with, whether it be a florist, an accountant, a garage, or a circus. Most business owners know how many customers they have, what their revenue is, how much profit they make, but they're all just results. So this is it. 5 ways to grow your business. Why is it called the 5 ways? So I'll run through the formula. So we start off here with the number of leads you get into the business. That can be people who came into your shop, people who called you, so prospects or potential customers for your business. You then convert some of them, not all of them, will buy. So if 2 out of 10 buy, 20%, you've got that conversion rate. So who can tell me from prospect to sale what your conversion rate is? Not a guess, but an actual figure. So if you don't know this, how can you change it? How can it improve? So what do you think most people think is their conversion rate? Well, most of the companies I see estimate it around 60 or 70%. And then I ask them to test and measure for the next 2 weeks. So is it a good thing when they find out it's actually 20%? Yes. If it's at 70%, can we double it? No, but there's a lot we can do if it's at 20%. There are 83 strategies on how to improve your conversion rate. The only thing I am really passionate about you leave with is a yearn to learn. If there's one thing that keeps you where you are in business, it's not learning anything new. So that gives you the number of customers. Multiply that, the number of transactions, so the number of times someone buys from you in a year, and you multiply that by the average sale value. This gives you your total turnover. We spoke briefly about margins when we talked about money mastery. There are a whole heap of strategies if you want to work on improving your margin. Ultimately, you get your take-home profits. Now, 3 of those areas are highlighted in a different colour. And why do you think that is? They are the least important. These are the outcomes, like we said before, the results. So can you see it's called the 5 ways? These are the KPIs for your company and pre-KPIs. So let's do some more. So let's put some numbers into so you can see how this works. So I'm not going to double or triple any of the numbers. I know that's possible. It's been achieved with many clients. What if we're to identify or choose 3 to 5 strategies to work for in each area? If you worked on generating more leads, maybe through more activity on social media, networking or advertising, there are actually hundreds of strategies, but we're only selecting 3 to 5. It is reasonable to think you can increase your leads by 10%. Not a huge increase, is it? If you worked on improving your conversion rate, say by having telephone scripts or changing the way you respond, or marketing an email, or honing your sales technique, it's not unfeasible to think we could increase your conversion by 10%. Not plus 10%, just an increase. Same with transactions. Do your customers or potential customers know every product you do or sell or service you provide? Do you keep them regularly informed? Do you give them reason to buy more or keep coming back? Again, shouldn't be that hard to get 10% increase. Average sale value. When was the last time you put your prices up? Encourage customers to buy more. Add-ons. Again, 10% increase. Profit margins. Again, put your price up, review your costs and overheads, try to reduce them. Again, there are many more strategies here. 10% increase again. We now have, from those pretty small increases, a rather large increase in revenue or turnover, up 46%, and gross profits up 61%, a compounding effect. These are really simple things to start implementing in your business straight away. These are the proven steps or ways to start growing your business. You must work on all 5 areas together to achieve the real results. The success of British cycling team is based on the similar techniques, based around marginal gains. Small changes in various areas add up to big improvements. If you think this is great, but you know you won't do it, or you'll never find the time because you're too busy putting out fires, you need a coach. So how many of you have been into a restaurant and they took your details and invited you back again? So if your business did that, might it stand out in the marketplace? Who lets their customers know about everything they do? Recently, we worked with an insurance company, and only 1 in 10 had more than 1 in 10 customers, had more than one policy. They ran a telemarketing campaign informing clients of other insurances, reminding them of other things, reminding other things. When does it become due? Would you mind if we give you a quote when it becomes due? They increased their policies to 2.6 per customer. It's obvious stuff that just doesn't always happen. McDonald's, supersize me, or do you want fries with that? What are your fries in your business? What is your add-on sale? What value are you giving? And just for fun, we doubled it. This does happen, but the average increase is usually in a year is probably about 30%. So number of leads, we've now gone from 4,000 to 8,000. Conversion rates up 50%. We've now got 4,000 customers instead of 1,000. Number of transactions have gone from 2 to 4. Average sale value is now £200. Revenue, 3.2 million. Wow. Profit margin, 50%. Profit, 1.6 million. Food for thought, yeah? So next, leverage. The key word in leverage is system. Why would we implement systems into the business? Can you think of any reasons not to implement systems or examples of when we wouldn't implement systems? In Action Coach, we see systems as a way to save yourself time, energy, and money. By creating routine ways of doing things, we make life simpler. We know everyone knows what they need to do and how to do it. If we can pick up the manual and see how to do it, we don't need to expand too much energy thinking about it. And it makes really easy to train people and for people to take responsibility and do their jobs without having to ask you. You have lots of tools to help you get the systems in place in your business. Okay, so the other question I asked you was for reasons why you wouldn't implement a system or examples of these times. I'm presuming everyone has heard of the 80-20 rule. It's used about all sorts of things in business, e.g. 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your customers, etc. In this case, we are talking about the business and the myriad of different tasks that need doing. 80% of those can be standardised. They are routine and we can implement a system. 20% are more complex and they need to be humanised. We need people to do them. That's where your team comes in. Within the 80% of tasks we can systemise, there are 4 key areas of the business to look at, systemising, and we have tools to support you doing all of these. People and education, so that would be recruitment, onboarding, training, personal development, performance reviews, delivery and distribution. How does your customer get what they have purchased? And testing and measuring. Having this as a routine part of your business is critical. It just needs to be what you do as a standard as soon as you introduce something new to the business. And why do you want to have to think about it every time? Systems and technologies. What tools we want to use in the business? Let's think about how we use them, e.g. Xero or QuickBooks to do your accounts. Great tools, but if you have 2 people who raise invoices and check in payments, and they do it differently, your accounts are going to be in a mess. Systems run the business. This is a fundamental philosophy of Action Coach and how to run the business. Doing this means you are focusing on the vision and mission of the company, the longer term direction. You're employing a great team of people who know exactly what they need to do and how to do it as they are running at the system. And the systems they are running ensure your business is running efficiently. Brad Sugars, our founder, says that all great businesses need 2 things, great systems and great people. So testing and measuring, people and education, delivery and distribution, systems and technology. Systemize and humanize. We like to test and measure our performance and results, so please take a minute to complete the feedback form now being popped into the chat or question box. So teams. In most companies, the owner tries to manage the team, look after the customers and run the business. The result, not everything gets done. We're going to change that here today. What should happen? Instead of the owner trying to do everything, there should be a circular system. The owner supports the team by giving direction, providing strong leadership, paying bills, remaining profitable, paying wages, giving encouragement, building systems, etc., etc. The team supports the customer with great sales skills, great service, great quality, and great consistency. Customers support the business by coming back more often, spending more on each visit, and telling their friends about you. And in turn, the business supports the owner through profits and eventually leading to reduced working hours in the business. It comes full circle. So now, can I ask you to put your ego aside and ask, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, how would my team function? Empower others and delegate. Low-skill tasks should be delegated. Ask yourself the following. Do your people know what they should be doing? Are you the only source for answers? Do you have the right people in the right roles? Do you guard your time? Are you answering emails and your phone on holiday? Is there a common goal? Does every team member know it? And are their personal goals aligned with it? Are your points of culture written down? How we behave around here? Your rules of the game? We often assume our team know what these are, but unless they are clearly written down, they are not likely to be followed, or at best they're misunderstood. Do you have an action plan outlining what happens? When do you have clear job descriptions so everyone is clear on their role with the organisation? Do you support risk-taking? People have to be allowed to fail to learn. Do you have an inclusive environment, or do you have a chosen few you run things by? If you want the best people, you need to continually train and educate. Do you communicate well? Regular team meetings, appraisals and one-to-ones. Do you listen to them to understand, not just to respond? Keys to a winning team. Now we have freedom. When your business works without you and you transfer the business model and use it in other businesses, you can invest as you have reached financial freedom. My last question to you, and you don't have to answer in the chat box, just think for 5 seconds. What is your philosophy on opportunity? Because if you don't have one, you need to get one. Opportunity is a chance for more. There may be some risk involved and it may require some effort or time to take the opportunity. But what's the cost if you don't take it? Think about it. So never wish life were easier, wish that you were better. Thank you. Go make it happen. Have a great weekend. Just so you know, if you have completed the feedback form, if you do need help with any of this, we are offering a 1-hour complimentary coaching session to work on any area of your choice. Thank you for joining us today, and please look out for further webinars coming up.